I'm still alive. I've made it through the last 4 months of China. I've made it through my internship and I made it through my vacation and I'm back in Xi'an. I have moved into my girlfriend's apartment. It's time to talk about the last 4 months of stock photography that I have not been covering. In terms of life updates, the past 4 months that I have been silent on YouTube, I have been doing an internship in Suzhou, in a smaller sub-city of Suzhou called Kunshan, and that was about 2.5 months, and I was basically just carrying my camera around and doing some photography while I was working, but it was a pretty hard situation to work in China for 2 months and really work at a Chinese company. There were a lot of obstacles during those 2 months, and I wasn't doing that much photography at all, and certainly wasn't about to make a stock photography video. Then after my internship, I went traveling with my mom. She came to China. That was really fun, and my mom met my girlfriend, and we traveled around southwest China and Guangzhou and Guizhou, Guilin, Yangshuo, those places. Made some beautiful imagery. As for stock imagery, I'm going to cover April through July because it seems that on my YouTube I have not covered anything since last March. So in April I had a profit of around $622, with the most coming from Shutterstock at $375, iStock at $180, and then YouTube revenue of $40. Then in May, I had a profit of $520, with $281 coming from Shutterstock, $73 coming from iStock, $32 coming from Fotolia, and $34 coming from YouTube revenue. In June, I had a profit of around $670. Last month was actually the best month yet, in contrast to this month. This month has been pretty inactive, I think because it's a vacation month in America for a lot of people, and a lot of working Americans are on holidays and not buying stock images. But last month from Shutterstock, I had $368, from iStock, $46, from Fotolia, $53, from YouTube, I had $51. That was pretty cool. The freelancing was huge, and on Alami, I made $72, which gave me a total profit of $986. But if you include the expenses that I put into what I'm about to explain, the sort of business that I'm developing, it came out to be about $670 again, total for the month. Thought maybe I would take some time to answer a few comments that I've been getting on YouTube, just because I've been seeing your guys' comments, and I've been trying to stay active on just my YouTube account in general, just so you guys know that I'm still here and still care about you guys. But yeah, it's been such a long time, but I will run through a few comments really quick. Panspermia Hunter, how do you get around property release since architecture is one of your main subjects? I've actually never had to get a property release. Shutterstock has never accepted any architecture that I have photographed that is very recognizable. When it comes to an average residential home from the outside, I don't need a property release for that. So that's how I get around that. They just don't accept the images that contain architecture that's recognizable. Fire Wind said, so how much time and effort do you put in for this? Full-time job or just a cash hobby while I study? I put in a lot of time. During this vacation, I would say it was pretty much a full-time job. Doesn't really pay that well, but it's really fun, and I would take this way of working over most jobs, I think. So I would say when I have free time, it's a full-time job, and when I'm studying during the semester, it's just a cash hobby. The Psycho, what is more beneficial, commercial or editorial pictures? And I had an interesting answer on this from my mom, who's a graphic designer. She was explaining when she buys stock images, editorial pics require her to credit the author and post it in certain materials. You can't post that on commercial pieces. So I think commercial images sell the best. But I also kind of get the feeling that some designers buy editorial pictures and use them for commercial stuff and just don't get caught. That's just kind of my feeling. So I don't really worry about it. The main thing is that your images get accepted, whether they be editorial or commercial, on those platforms. And when it comes to what the designers do with your images, I am not a lawyer, but I don't think you're liable for that. But the bigger your portfolio is in this game of numbers that we call stock photography, that's better. Freezy Meezy, what do I think about black box? That's a good question, because I saw a photographer's promotional video for that service a few weeks back, and I was really interested in the idea, but the way he was promoting it, by sort of saying that you can make tons of money over a 5-year period. 5 years is a long time, and sure, you might make a few $100s over a 5-year period on an image. The chances are very slim. I've done stock photography now for 3 years, and I've seen how much one image can earn. And the chances that one image earns several $100s are very slim. It's more likely that one image will earn $100 one time in that 5-year period, and it's not going to be several $100s. I thought honestly that way of promoting it was a little disingenuous, and I got a weird feeling from the head of that black box company who was in that guy's promotional video, taking photos and talking about how that photo that he just randomly took was probably dinner for tonight.
Well, that's dinner.
That honestly is not the way that stock photography works, and I know that he knows that, but he is a very smart guy for creating this service, and I think his website it's pretty well made for what seems to be kind of a small startup, and I think it's a pretty useful service. It's a good idea, especially in Western countries where images are a little expensive. So more power to him. I wish that black box got success. But that was honestly my first impression of black box when I first saw those videos. And finally, guys, I want to get to what I would consider the main point of this video and the main point of my life in photography right now. I have, as of now, I have been to many different countries, and I've worked so hard in photography, and if I'm honest, I'm starting to get frustrated with images. I feel like I've made a lot of beautiful images that are worth more than just stock photos, but I haven't been seeing progress. And then during my internship, one of my colleagues offered to me, because I was explaining to him how stock photography worked, he offered to me his old hard drive that he had been storing all of his vacation photos on for the past 7 or 8 years. And I went through them, and I selected around 1,200 images that I bought from him and processed with the assistance that I have now. I processed that all for about $200. That happening basically increased my Shutterstock portfolio by 1,100 images, nearly 1,000 images, something like that. And after that happened, I felt like this is a real business model. And let me explain. So I have dubbed my collection of images the Bliss Hunter Images collection, and I think here in China, buying images from photographers is more reasonable because the currency isn't as powerful compared to the dollar. I've already considered buying images in Germany, but €1 per image just won't give me a fast return on my investment, which is why services like why Black Box can succeed, because they don't put money down on images. They make money on the images that sell. And I think that's an easier way to get your investment back on the processing services, or the money that you spend processing the images. And they don't have to pay, €1 for an image, which ultimately, if you're buying 1,000 images and spending €1,000, how long it takes you to earn €1,000 with stock photography is pretty insane. I was able to buy 1,200 images and have them processed, and the total for that, I could probably get back within 2 or 3 months. And that to me is a comfortable time period to put an investment on some images and then make profit on those images. So I've been investing a lot of time in a new part of my website. Basically, it's like a stock website. If you think about how Shutterstock works, it's kind of like that. I'm basically making non-exclusive agreements with photographers to distribute their images and sub-licensing these images on other platforms like Shutterstock and iStock, Getty Images, and Fotolia, and these big platforms that really give me profit, and allowing amateur photographers sort of an appraisal on their images that they don't use or that they like. Because I think most photographers who have a portfolio have their portfolio times 5 in images that they've never used, that are just sitting on a hard drive. And my game now, which I've been doing now for about 2 months since I bought that guy's images, and my game now is to estimate how much money those images would be worth that I could earn back in a 3-month period, but also help photographers make instant money on their images, because not necessarily professional photographers need the help, but a growing photographer like me when I was in Germany, $200-300 could have really helped me out in getting accessories or getting a tripod or doing things that really helped me better my skills as a photographer. And I wish there was somebody that could have helped me with that, because I had so many images, and it takes such a long time to amass wealth with stock photography. But in this way, both parties can profit. I can give an amateur photographer or even a professional photographer, I can give them instant money for the images that they don't use, and I can see inside of those images what images would sell as stock photos, because that's what I've been doing for 3 years. After my first purchase of those images, especially in China, and the advantage that I have with the Chinese language and the incredible amount of photographers there are here that all have DSLRs or even do amazing photography with their cell phones, but just need money to develop their skills. And I think the soil is fertile to grow this kind of business, and I've decided to dedicate myself to this idea. So I'm going to slow down on personally doing stock photography, and I'm going to start building a force of people who can help me process images that I sort of invest in, because that is another thing. The 1,100 images, I had one assistant to help me process those images. I did the keywording and she did the titles for the images, but even the uploading and the cataloging on stock websites, there were so many problems. And you know, you need a very stable internet connection to upload that many images. That's like 8,000 images in one day that you have to upload. I think it was some 50 gigabytes in one day that I couldn't upload using my resources while I was on vacation. I thought I could use my tablet because it's pretty powerful, but it did not work. I really overloaded my assistant with this stuff. So I've decided to make my assistant, because she's already learned very well how this metadata process works. My assistant is going to become the manager of some sub assistants that are going to be doing metadata stuff, and I'm going to try to recruit them from the university's English department here. And I need people who can edit images, because I also edited all those images myself, and I just did like general editing. I did like the lowlights and the highlights. I made sure they were all within the exposure. It wasn't underexposed or overexposed. Logos I got rid of across 1,100 images. Retouching those images took probably like a week and a half of like 8-hour work days. I would work for 8 hours during the day, and then I would go home and work for another 7 hours. So I need to make this stock photography sort of investment business a reality, or an image broker, as you would call it. I mean, it's basically Shutterstock. It's basically Shutterstock that gives instant payouts and is specialized in China, because the market is not saturated here. I'm very serious about this, and I encourage you to look at my contributors page on my website. If you would like for me to give you a quote on your images, you're welcome to send me a message on YouTube, or send me a message, or contact me. There's contact information on that page, and we can talk about your images and maybe see what you could earn from images that you just have laying around. Like the guy from Blackbox was talking about, images that you just mine from your old hard drives. I'm really excited, and I'm very dedicated, and I'm going to continue in this direction. And hopefully next time we talk, I will have made some deals with other photographers. Since 2 months ago, I have met other photographers that are willing to sell their images, but some photographers use their cell phones, and they always have it on like high ISO settings, and they're not really familiar with how photography works and what a clean image looks like on a computer, and I can't use their images, unfortunately. So there are standards for this collection, and the collection is going to be specialized in travel and architectural photography. There won't be many portraits. There won't be people unless people can give me model releases. But I personally think that my brand represents travel and architecture, and I'm going to continue in that direction and just collect travel and architectural images and really make a high quality collection. And hopefully one day just be an independent image broker like Shutterstock and all these companies. But for now, I think this sort of business model is a little different. It's I want to see how it goes. I can't really think of anything else that I would like to share with you guys for right now. I think I've shared everything. Wish me luck on continuing this. As of today, I've just finished the uploading platform and that contributors page, which is one of the reasons I think this video has good timing. You can check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the comments, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. See you guys around.